Mike Tirico explains why the Chicago Bears could be a fun team in 2025. Today's episode, I want to talk about what are the reasonable expectations with the Bears' difficult schedule and with the talent influx that we've had. We're also going to look at some of the best free agents still out on the market that could help the Bears at positions of need. We're going to look at all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central and every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. So Mike Tirico says this about the Chicago Bears, starting right off with the quote, says, "That's a heck of a team. Let's hope that the free agents work in terms of the offensive line. You draft a tackle out of Boston College. There's just so many options offensively. I can't wait to see this talent, this quarterback, this coach all together. When you get a guy, and we all believe Caleb Williams can play, if you don't surround him with real talent, shame on you. The Bears have surrounded him with talent, and I think this could be really fun. I do." Now, listen, I think that with a Ben Johnson coached offense, the assets that the Chicago Bears have brought into this team, there are more than enough reasons to believe that this Bears team is going to be a fun, exciting, and deep team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, right? And fun is great, and make no mistake about it. Fun is great, but you know what's more winning? Well, I mean, what's more fun is winning. That's just what it comes down to. I want to see a winning team. Hearing that the Bears could be a fun team is all fine and dandy. That's great. Make no mistake about it. I don't want to crap on that or act like that's not important. And to bring fun, that means the players are having fun. And hopefully the players are having fun, we're winning more games, which then plays into more fun. We have to go out there and see the results on the field. That's what all this is based on. Everything is based on the results that you can get from this team on the field. We have had fun teams on paper before. We've won off seasons on paper before. And guess what? It has all given us a bunch of nothing when it comes down to it. It's given us nothing that's tangible when it's all said and done in the game of football. It's given us nothing. So I think when it comes down to it is that it's great that the Bears have this fun team on paper, and it's great that people are starting to recognize that, no, there has some definitely some pretty big potential on this team. And I think that's a great thing, right? And, when I went through my wins and loss predictions for the Bears, which is something I don't even like to do, I was meathead then. I said it on that episode. That was me being at my most meathead possible when I said that. But I think other than that, man, outside of just being the meathead aspect of it all, because I love my football team, I love the Bears, and I'm always going to be excited about what the Bears could be. You want to see what this team is going to. We have a difficult schedule, a very difficult schedule. We have one of the hardest schedules, the toughest schedules in the league right now as it stands on paper. Now, that is based off the win-loss prediction of teams from last year, and that's going to change over the course of the season. And hopefully, we'll see how that pans out for the Bears. But when you look at the road stretches that we have, the no back-to-back home games, so towards the end of the season, all those type of things, that paints a difficult schedule for you either way, right? And so this is going to be a team where we're going to have to build and finally forge an identity. We haven't had one for so long because it's hard to have an identity. We have a coach like freaking Matt Eberflus as your head coach. It's hard to have an identity under an idiot, right? That's just hard. It's difficult for anybody to have an identity under a dumbass. I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of where the Bears were. But yeah, you look at the talent that we have. We have the Romo Dunzeys, we have the DJ Moores, we have the Caleb Williams, we have Luther Burden, we have Colston Loveland, we have Cole Kmet. We have a lot that could be fun on this team. The running back room, right, could be fun behind this offensive line, especially. Like, we've made the adjustments that we've been calling for years to be made. Now it's, all right, how did those adjustments actually pay off? And that's where Ben Johnson, we had a different topic plan before the Trey Hendrickson news came out, or rumor came out for yesterday's live stream. But I think when you break that all down and look at it, right, in the reality of what it is, like, this is a Bears team that Ben Johnson is already going to have to, he's getting the full gamut right away, right? He has to clear the locker room of distractions if the recent Caleb shit, the article and stuff has caused any. You have to clear the locker room of distractions, which you're going to have to do anyway over the course of the season, no matter what it is. And sometimes clearing distractions also means clearing distractions from you getting too caught up in winning, right? Like, especially for a team that hasn't accomplished shit yet. So, clearing the distractions, already trying to get everybody on the right page, coming in with a new system, new style, new coordinators, new building, new everything, new energy, right? And then on top of all of that, you have to clear this team. We already went from the Nagyism to the Eberflu, right? Like we went from that to one thing to another. And so, you have to now really set an expectation in a locker room and a culture in a franchise that has been missing it for so long. And that's really what it comes down to with this Bears team. They've been lacking a identity for so long. And it's hard to really win at a high level when you don't have an identity. Now you build an identity through winning, through accomplishments, through trials, through those type of things. But when you really are looking at establishing and making that a firm part of your team, you have to continue to build, man. And that's really what this team is. And listen, there's no reason not to be excited about this team, right? And, I know, people they view the depth on the defensive line differently, and that's fine. They view the offensive line depth differently, and that's fine. But it's all hopefully going to be proven when it's when the pads are on and we're playing football games, right? That's what is most important. Is proving it then. Nothing's going to be proven in the offseason one way or another. Us as fans, we can have all types of conversations about what this team has or how good it could be, but it all doesn't mean anything until we're on the football field winning football games. And that's when it all starts coming together, right? So, and we'll see what happens when it comes down to that also. But yeah, and one of the big questions as well that's surrounding this team that like ESPN picked up and other people are picking up is that how many of the Bears rookies are going to be legit threats in their rookie years? And, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I think Loveland, as long as he's healthy and things like that, and Luther Burden are going to be two players that they're going to make their impact right away felt. And by that, I don't mean that they're going to have like some statistical amazing season where it breaks rookie records or anything like that. But I think the presence that they're going to bring and the skill set that they're going to bring to two positions that are needed, especially under Ben Johnson's system, that's going to be a really big part of this thing for this team. So, I have tons of excitement around this team. And I do think there is a legit reason, to be excited. But like I said, I don't want to let the excitement become expectations because we've done that before. And, all that has meant nothing when it's all said and done. So, we got to get to the point of being serious. And to be serious, that means we got tons of things that we still need to go through. We still need to learn. We still need to grow through. And part of that as well in getting to that point is, all right, the Bears got some serious things that they still need to fix, right? That they have some holes, of course, on this team, whether, how you perceive that or not is huge. We talked about yesterday about the Bears making a potential gamble on Trey Hendrickson and what that could look like as far as making a move for Trey Hendrickson and just how big of a move that would be for the Bears, right? If the Bears were to make a move for Trey Hendrickson, that to me does not just say that you're just you're just trying to compete in the NFC North. No, you're trying to compete in the NFC. You're trying to be a team at that point. That tells me that you're trying to get to a point of you're contending. Like you're trying to contend for if you get and you make a move for Trey Hendrickson and what he has been. I think that's a huge sign on what you could do. Now the Bears still do have some things that are shaky, right? And depending on how you view that, some people view it differently than others, right? As far as how serious the needs are, I do think that this Bears team is content right now with what they have on that defensive line, and they really want to give it an opportunity to see how it's going to develop and turn into. But let's talk about some of the players that can help the Bears at some of the biggest positions of need. I think, regardless of the varying degrees that you view it, that one of the things that's viewed is the Bears still need another edge. They still need help at the running back because there's uncertainty there, and linebacker. And I think to talk about that, you have to talk about who's out there available, right? So let's talk about some of the players right now that some of the free agents that are remaining that the Bears could go out there and try to get at some of these positions, right? And so if we're looking at it, right, the free agents that are on the defensive edge, Mark, right? Zadarius Smith, solid veteran acquisition that I think could provide some depth. I don't know if he passes up and starts over Dayo Odeyingbo because I think the Bears are really committed to trying to see what he can bring there. Matthew Judon is another name that's still out there as well, potentially for the Chicago Bears team. Jadeveon Clowney, Preston Smith, Shaquille Barrett. right? Those are some of the bigger names that are still out there when it comes down to it on what you have, right? Now, we know that Dennis Allen likes the bigger defensive ends. I think that's fine. I think when you look at that, Zadarius Smith and Matthew Judon are kind of the guys that fit that bill the biggest there, right? Shaquille Barrett is kind of a guy that he's played similar roles before, but I don't think I think Zadarius Smith will be the guy there. But then again, it's like Zadarius Smith, like he goes through the same thing every time, every offseason, and he's going to be fairly expensive. 32 years old, right? Still continues to produce regardless of his age, and we'll see. The only NFC North team he's not played for as well is Chicago. So I think you look at that. Jadon is another guy that I think, he was a target last year for the Chicago Bears heading into it, but then the New England Patriots shipped him off to Atlanta. So, he's coming off a down year in Atlanta as well. He missed most of the 2023 season also. So I don't feel really too overly confident about the chances of bringing him in here, but we'll see. Then you got Jadeveon Clowney as well. Like Clowney is a guy that, he's newer added to this. I do think he can help the Bears as well. And if the Bears are just looking for a guy that can come in, help provide some depth, I like that as well. And so those are guys that kind of make some sense. Now, Shaquille Barrett will be the buy low option to bring in here, add some depth when it comes down to it. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But overall, that's really what you're looking at as far as free agent class, still from a perspective of the defensive end. Then you look at running backs, right? J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb. We've talked heavily about those guys. Breece Hall's reportedly available via trade. Kenneth Walker III is available via trade as well. And these are some names that definitely could help the Bears, right? Chubb and J.K. Dobbins, of course, you have the injury concerns there. That's been something that we've talked about heavily in this offseason. I think every Bears creative has is talk about Nick Chubb and J.K. Dobbins. These are guys that the talk around them has kind of died off some. And I think that's because the Bears are really content in finding a way to see what they have in this running back room before they make an acquisition of bringing in a veteran that could cost some money or assets. And I think that's the route the Bears are still going to go, right? Unless you go into training camp, somebody gets hurt, or this coaching staff walks away from training camp completely and utterly just over the running back options that they have here, I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward where they just operate with what they have. And the talk around the running backs too, I think because the media has calmed down on it, it's calmed down with Bears fans as well, and that's a thing. But then you also got to look at linebacker. The strong side linebacker right now is up between a mix between, of course, Noah Sewell has an option. I think Power Echols, an undrafted rookie, has a chance there as well. And so you got some guys there that could definitely help and can make their case for and Hippolyte as well that can make their case for that strong side. But if you want a little bit more veteran depth there are still some free agent options out there that could help the Bears, right? Kazir White is out there that could help the Bears. Eric Kendricks is another guy that's out there. CJ Mosley, right? And there's some guys that really provide. White and Bentley, Jawan Bentley is another guy. These are two players that still have enough youth, right? They're a little bit younger when it comes down to that, and they can offer something. Bentley was released by the New England Patriots. And he had an injury season in 2024 where he was up and down with injuries, but it's another thing kind of like with the running backs. Like there's some guys there that make some sense, but I don't know if they're guys that the Bears are really ready and able to make a swing at currently right now. And I don't know if that quite makes the perfect sense for the Chicago Bears, but we'll see what the Bears end up doing. I think training camp is going to be the thing. We're going to go into training camp with what we have. We're really going to take a hard look at that in training camp to see what this team has and how confident they feel in it. And then they're going to make a decision based off that going forward. I think that's what we can look at for this Bears team to make a decision on and do. And we'll see how it shakes out. But you guys can let me know how you feel about, are there any free agents or are there any trade prospects out there, of course, other than Trey Hendrickson, that could make some sense for the Chicago Bears? Let me know what you guys think on that down below. With that said, we do have a mailbag that I want to get into. We do have a voicemail. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, man? Darius from Dallas. Hey, I had to get on here and get your ass. But yeah, man, I just feel like, let me explain a little bit more what I mean about the Trevon Dexter thing. We got this subculture of people on our defense that everybody's afraid to say something about, man. As Bears fans, we're defense biased. It's okay with admitting that. It's okay. We got spoiled from the 80s and all the other teams that we had, and we are just a defensive biased fan base. And when you're biased, you're not going to be as critical. That's just natural, okay? I feel like, look at Tremaine Edmonds. Do you feel like he's lived up to that contract? No. So that means this year he's got a ball. Javon, have I seen some things that he does that I love? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But my point is this: we going into year 3. We going into year 3. This is supposed to be the year where if we were right for drafting you with the second round pick, it's supposed to show this year. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And if you really think about it, he ain't done nothing that's so phenomenal where Shamar got this high bar he's got to clear in order to beat out Javon Dexter's production. Come on, man. Let's just be real, bro. Let's just be real, bro. Because when I seen when guys went down on the defensive line, like if you're really a dog, you're still gonna play your game. That's all I'm saying. Let's go with recent examples. Like any defensive lineman that we had that has been clutch, whether it be Julius Peppers, Akeem Hicks, whoever, they are consistently good players. Go all the way back to Tommy Harris. They're consistently good players. So that's all I'm saying, man. I just want a little consistency on that defense, bro. I'm tired of. We had too many years as Bears fans where our defense starts off strong and then we fall off the face of the earth the last 8 weeks of the season. Can't have that, man. The coaching staff done said that, hey, look here, the best man available is going to start. So I don't think that I'm sitting here looking at Javon going, damn, he balled out so much, I don't think nobody's going to be able to get his position. No. So that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying, Hayes. I ain't trying to say nothing other than that, is that we talk all off season. Every year we do this, we talk all off season about all the pressure that's on all the offensive players. Oh, DJ Moore this. So anytime an offensive player messes up, we on their head. But we'll accept inconsistent play out of the defensive players. I don't understand our fan base, but hey, if Texas is weird, that's weird too. But hey, Texas up, bear down.
Darius, my brother, man, like I said on the original voicemail when you left this, is that, that's why I use stats to back it up. Like, I don't think you have any subculture that you're, let me not say that. I won't say that there's sometimes that there are some, and I think there are players that are given caveats on both sides of the ball, to be 100% honest with you. I think some people give Cole Kmet some caveats on some things that he needs to lack. Not to say that it wasn't things like Shane Waldron's play calling wasn't trash at times and completely phased Cole Kmet out, but though both things could be true. But again, to say that you have this mindset that you're attacking this from like, well, no, dogs still be dogs. No, look at what Montez Sweat has done last year on a bad offensive line. Is he all of a sudden some worse player? No. Look at DJ Moore's production last year with a bad offense, right? With the bad play calling. That absolutely affects. You cannot ignore how play calling, coaching, and situation affects the player's game. And that's why I gave you the stats. He's towards the top of every statistical category for a defensive tackle. And so to say that, Javon Dexter needs to be benched, and too many people are using the wide open depth chart to try to, and I'm not saying you necessarily, Darius, but too many people are using that, and the fact that was said as like something now that we could say, oh, well, this player's clearly going to be benched now because we set an open depth chart. But like, you got to look at also what a player has proven. And that's not to say that there aren't things that Javon Dexter can improve on as a player. Absolutely. Were there some things that he needs to get better in the run game? Yes, that's why I did point those things out. But to act like he was completely terrible and you have to overlook, if he's a dog, he's going to be a dog regardless who else is on that defensive line. No, because then you get double teamed. That's part of what Montez Sweat, that's part of why we're talking about we need better help on the outside from him. Andrew Billings was a big part of that. We had nothing else that was decent to back that up, right? So then, of course, you're able to then key in on Javon Dexter, who was pretty damn productive even with those things. So, listen, I get what you're getting at, and that's not to say that Javon doesn't need to take a step up to another game, but trying to act and talk about this Javon Dexter thing like he was some bad player, and if he's going to be a dog, he should get 4 sacks regardless who else is on that defensive line. I'm sorry, that's just not accurate. That's not accurate to football at all, right? It's not. Guess what? If you have a great wide receiver, but you have no other wide receiver depth there at all, like if Romo Dunze, Luther Burden, Olamide all go down, to expect DJ Moore to still put up an 800 or even 1,000-yard season is going to be ridiculous because guess what? Teams at that point are going to be able to key in on just what he's able to do. So I disagree wholeheartedly in what you said. Now, tackle number is something, right? Like, and that's more of a linebacker thing. Like, you expect the linebacker regardless. Like, TJ Edwards is going to get 100 tackles regardless, right? But it's different when you're a linebacker. They get more tackles, more things than that. So, and on top of that, we didn't blitz. We weren't creative. So I think that you're looking at just the raw number and not looking into what goes into the whys. And then when you are forced to explain more than just the why numbers, you're like, oh, well, if he was really a dog, he would just get these numbers regardless. No, like play calling, all that stuff plays a huge part into a player's productivity. And to ignore that is to ignore a whole side of the game that matters into how a player plays. So I can't get with you on that one. Does he need to improve? Yes. Does a lot of people need to improve? Yes. But to say that Shamar Turner is going to come in and start behind him just because of Ben Johnson saying it's an open depth chart when Javon Dexter's been one of the better defensive tackles in the game last year, and you keep using this thing of him being into his third year. Yeah, he was in his third year after only playing on clear pass downs his rookie year and his first year starting last year, and then the only other dog we had on the interior defensive line to start with him, DeMarcus Walker was solid as well, but not what Billings brought. Like, come on now. Like, that's not a normal third year, my boy. Come on. Like, I think that you're being a little salacious here, and I get it. It is what it is, but come on, my boy. Like, we got to be realistic in what we're doing. I gave the numbers. Like, Javon Dexter was towards the top in a lot of areas. Come on. Let's get over this, man. But with that said, that's my time today, guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.